It is so important that you get your own travel insurance before you take a holiday. If you have a stroke abroad or you're taken ill and you have no insurance, it's very hard to get medical treatment. You may have to pay for it yourself, and it would be very difficult to fly home. Medivac flights are thousands of pounds, so please consider holiday insurance.
I always take travel insurance when I travel. You know, it's a little bit like traveling without a suitcase. Otherwise, and you're carrying all your baggage with you, and you have to have insurance. Not just for yourself, but for everybody. Your loved ones. Can you imagine? That something detrimental happened when you were abroad, and it's left to your loved ones to sort out, and the expense to your loved ones. I understand that travel insurance has gone up a lot because you've had a stroke or your disability or whatever, but it's money you can ill afford not to spend. It's the amount of heartache, trouble and hassle it'll cause your wife, your husband, your daughter, your son, or whoever. And if you're in a country and you just want to get home but you're not insured.
Stroke does count as a pre-existing medical condition, which is why it's so important that you tell them, even if it was a TIA that lasted a few minutes or a couple of hours. If you have a stroke or a TIA abroad and you didn't declare this, unfortunately your insurance company may not pay for any of your care.
No matter whether it's a corn, a verruca, whatever ailments I've had, I declare it. If you took out your insurance last week and yesterday you had an unplanned visit to the hospital for an ache, a pain or whatever, you need to phone them and you need to tell them.
It's also advisable to think about getting a European insurance health card. This will cover you for basic medical treatment in a European country. But you still must also think about getting your own medical insurance so that the two can work side by side should you need assistance.
When I phone for my travel insurance, it's I do shop around, so it can do your head in a little bit because of course you're trying to get the best price, and I would definitely say do not go with the first price because the premiums can differ a lot. I recently took out travel insurance. My lowest quote was £300. My next quote was £5,000.
You've got to have insurance, but you don't always go for the cheapest. You go for the one that suits you.
There are many hundreds of travel insurance suppliers in the UK. Some may specialise in stroke, and there are other companies who will take stroke into consideration, but please do shop around. We're very aware that insurance can be very expensive and it might put you off having that well-deserved holiday. Make sure that your pre-existing conditions are covered. Make sure that they will give you that full and comprehensive service that you may need to draw upon should you be taken ill abroad.
I researched on Google for insurance companies. You go with the big ones, the Admirals and the Go Compare and the Meerkats, whatever. And the truth is, sometimes the best companies to go with are actually the ones on the high street, the smaller ones, they're more independent, because one, you get the personal touch, and secondly, you get a good price.
When I take out insurance, I don't go on the net, because when I take anything I like to speak to people and make sure that my cover is exactly what I want. And you can't do that on the net. You can't, it's just a tick box. It doesn't cover all eventualities. So I don't do these compare things. I like to speak to people. All these things, I know you can probably get it cheaper, but is it the right one for you?
You could always contact the Stroke Association helpline and we will be able to talk to you about your options. You may also want to talk to other stroke survivors. They've probably faced this hurdle before, so they may be able to give you or recommend to you the name of their insurance company.
I would just say just keep at it. It's the travel insurance is out there. The cost is is of course the main factor, you know. But you know, in effect, it is out there. You just need to just keep plugging away.